Welcome once again, my sisters and brothers, to the Law of One channel, conscious channeling of LL Research. Today we have a wonderful story, another Law of One parable to share. Beautiful. Let us begin. There was once a shipbuilder in an ancient land. His father and his grandfather before him had worked upon the beautiful ships with their high prows that sailed from the North Land. The young shipbuilder had keen eyes, and he watched the ships come and go, and listened to tales of conquest and riches. Yet he did not fancy himself a pirate, and continued working upon the land. The young man in his work often thought of what must lie beyond the reaches of his port city in the far sea. Many tales did he hear, and yet he was, for the most part, content to remain and do his small portion of work, building the great ships that moved upon the waters out of sight and circled the globe. Yet within his heart there was the beginning of the desire to know more than what was available to him within the confines of his work, his home, his friends, and his city. He pondered more and more what might be available to him in the way of adventure and learning and experience if he should leave his home and friends. And thus he considered this possibility with some fear and some excitement. One day, as the young man was working about his accustomed tasks in the shipyard, he saw a strange ship appear over the horizon and come into the port. It was tall and had red sails, and the people were at first afraid, for they feared an attack, and being a warlike nation themselves, they took up their arms and stood ready to defend themselves. But when the ship landed, they could see that there was no danger to fear, for the men aboard the ship carried no weapons. It was a merchant ship, the cargo of goods, the like of which many, indeed most, had not seen before, for it carried fine cloth and spices from far distant lands to which the ships of the north had not yet ventured. The merchants on the ship were interested in trade and in discovering new lands and new markets for their trade. And as the young shipbuilder watched and listened, he knew that his opportunity had come to see distant parts of the world without having to be a pirate. And so, when the foreign ships sailed again, he sailed with them as part of their crew, and set forth into the world to discover what he might. The young man was on this trip, on this ship, far from land, farther than he had been away before. He would look over towards the land, and he could see the deep blue of the ocean, but he could not see any land. He was thrilled with the newness, but the journey was long there on the ocean. Many, many days, and some of the crew had gotten ill. He himself had been sick, and was able to overcome the sickness, but because of the long and tedious journey, had wondered if the lands which they were headed to would not contain more of the same. Although there are many things which he could not anticipate, he looked to the sky in the evenings and early mornings, and saw beauty which he had never seen on land before, in the sky. As the boy gazed upon the stars in the heavens, He wondered at the vastness of the universe and wondered if there was wisdom in the heavens. He wondered at the significance of his small, small self in that boat upon that ocean. And he dreamed of many lands and many peoples, of many paths. And he realized, after much concentration, that the only understanding he would have of the world, of the sky, of the stars and the universe, was to seek out wisdom which he knew was contained within himself. And only there would he find the answers to his small questions. With that knowledge, he reached a new perspective of the world and of his life, and it gave him great joy and meaning to all that he looked upon, for he realized that he was but one small cell in the infinite vastness of the universe. Yet, within that small cell was contained all the knowledge and the wisdom that he sought around him. One day the ship came within sight of new land, and as it approached, he realized that he would leave the ocean at this shore and once again work upon the land. He was glad that his ocean voyage would soon be coming to an end, and realized that he had gained far more than any pirate could have ever plundered from any ship or any shore. On that voyage upon that ocean, he had gained a knowledge of the self that no gold could ever pay for, that had no price, and that was priceless only to himself. He looked forward to once again working in a shipyard, where he might build ships that would send other men upon the vast ocean, hopefully to gain the knowledge which he himself had secured. And now to conclude our story. Many were interested in the strange-looking, exotic blonde and blue-eyed man of the sea who had come to live in their far different clime. When asked why he had come, he would only reply, "To look at the stars." His inquirers would look up and ask the keen-eyed sailor, "What is special about these stars?" And he would smile and say, "When one has keen eyes, one thirsts for something which to see." My friends, it is not important under which stars you dwell, but vastly important that your gaze upward be keen and persistent. Many times in any incarnation there will be the need for the dark night and the lack of humankind's banishing of the night, for only in the deepest darkness can one truly see at their very best those starry dominions which are symbols of light and love. Find the deep sea within yourself in the waters of meditation, in the strong ship of your builded soul. Take the tiller and take responsibility for your seeking. Never apologize, however, for dwelling upon the land, for that which you do in the midst of your fellow human beings is that which builds the ship that carries your soul upon the stretches of the inner deep. I am Hatonn, and it has been our great honor to have shared this meditation with each of you this evening. We cannot express the joy that grows within our being at each opportunity to join with you in your seeking. We look forward, as you would say, to your future gatherings, And we encourage, once again, each new instrument in the traveling of the path of the vocal channel. We treasure each new instrument as another unique opportunity to share that which we have gained in our own seeking with you and with others that might seek such information as an aid in their journey. And so each of us aids the other as a portion of the one Creator comes to know itself as the one Creator. We are known to you as those of Hatonn. We leave you at this time in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Adonai, my friends. Adonai Vasu Baragas.